never surrender. I'll never surrender. I'll never surrender. Not going down. I'm gonna stand my ground till the final hour, till the fight is over. Gonna soldier on, 'cause I'm an army of one. Gonna feel my power till the fight is over, till the fight is over, till the fight is over. I'll never surrender. Not going down without a fight. I'll never surrender, 'cause I was born to stay alive. I'll get through the struggle, pull myself from the rubble. It's never over until it's over. I'm not going under. I'll never surrender. I'll never surrender. I'll never surrender. I'll never surrender. There's a strength in me, got no defeat. I'm a survivor. This fight ain't over, 'cause I'm rising up, never giving up. Never say never. This fight ain't over. This fight ain't over. This fight ain't over. I'll never surrender. Not going down without a fight. I'll never surrender, 'cause I was born to stay alive. I'll get through the struggle, pull myself from the rubble. It's never over until it's over. I'm not going under. I'll never surrender. I'll never surrender. I'll never surrender. I'll never surrender. I'm not going down without a fight. I'll never surrender, 'cause I was born to stay alive. I'll get through the struggle, get myself on the rubble. It's never over until it's over. I'm not going under. I'll never surrender. I'll never surrender. I'll never surrender. I'll never surrender.
Welcome to the overview podcast for Stage 2, Elkhart Lake. We are moving right along with the season here. Stage 1 is done and over with, and it went pretty well, I'd say. We're going to talk a little bit about the lake itself, what to expect, again, just like we did for Lower Red Lake, but we're also going to kind of go back and talk about what happened at Lower Red Lake for you guys that didn't get a chance to see it on the stories. And again, we are making these into episodes kind of like the Elite series with Bassmasters, where we're going to film it, edit it up, and then push it out later on in the year for you guys to watch all in a sequence week after week. So we're going to get right into this, and let's have some fun with this. So Stage 2, it is presented by TKs Custom Baits. That is my company. I make plastics. Right now I'm making 3-inch swim baits, paddle tail swim baits, 5-inch Yamamoto Senkos, and 2.75-inch little Ned rigs. I can't even think of what it was there for a second. But yeah, so I make them in all kinds of colors and stuff. Miles, you use a couple of them, right?
Yeah, Ned rigs, amazing. Really good quality on them. And you don't need much action on a Ned rig, but there's still a little bit of wiggle on the end of the Ned, so really good there. They're swim baits.
Mm-hmm.
Swim baits are by far the best one that I've used out of all of them.
Mine as well.
You make some amazing trailers. Really good action on them, and perfect paired on a chatterbait, swim bait, swim jigs.
Mm-hmm.
But
anything is used as a trailer, and then the Senkos I've caught plenty of them on, and you actually had a pretty nice bag today.
Yeah.
On some Senkos.
Yeah,
so.
That's rare for me. I almost never throw Senkos.
But they still catch them. So we are going to give you guys an opportunity here. Miles, why don't you tell them a little bit about the opportunity?
Yeah, so our Trevor is having a code, 20% off. If you end up using the code WBB2022, get 20% off your order, and then we'll have the website link below for you guys.
So the website's right up there on the screen, as you can see. And again, use that code and you guys can get 20% off any order. There's like a little order form online at the end of the website there that you can click on, and it'll take you through every step that you need to and just put in whatever you'd like. I also do custom colors as well, so if you guys are looking for something a little bit special, I know Miles put in a couple orders for some different really out-of-the-world custom colors this year. So there's that. So, Miles, let's talk a little bit about Stage 1 before we get going into Stage 2. How did Lower Red Lake go for both of us?
So, I'll start off with how my day went. My day, honestly, it started horrible. It was a grind early on. I caught one fish on a frog that probably in the first 20 minutes or so, and I was saying, awesome, this is going to be a fun day. This is going to be good. This is going to be easy fishing, and then I hit a brick wall, and I don't think I had a bite until maybe 11 o'clock or so that morning. So I went quite a while without a bite. We took off at 6:30. I think I had the first fish before 7, and then I didn't get another bite until 11 o'clock. So it started off pretty rough, but then I found a swim jig was starting to work because the wind was picking up, and then found one little area that just kept reloading and caught all my fish off of maybe about a 75-yard stretch.
Yeah.
So it started slow but ended pretty strong. I think I ended with over 20 fish that day. Well, now not all of them were legal, but
yeah, some were shorts. You caught a couple pike as well.
Yep.
So,
but still caught a lot of fish at the end of the day in those last 3 hours. So it was fun. And then Trevor's was the complete opposite. He found an area where he was flipping, and then he was catching them right away. You caught 3 in the first hour or so?
I caught three legal keepers in the first hour. First one was also about a 2-pound largemouth. I missed him the first shot and threw right back in. Got him on the second shot there, and then worked again. Basically about a 75-yard stretch, actually just in front of the stretch that Miles worked for the end of the day. And I caught bass after bass and ended up with 3 keepers for the day. 2 were 14.25 inches. Barely making the cut, but we did get 3 out of the bag limit of 4. We did change that up a little bit. We looked at some tournament, I guess you could say, rules that the DNR has in Wisconsin.
Yep.
So tell them about the 4 fish limit and why that is.
Yeah, so we ended up changing it because legally you need a permit to be doing 5 fish tournaments, which we didn't draw permits. So in order for us to call, we ended up having to go with only 4 fish, because if you end up doing a 5 fish limit, you're at 5, you have your limit, and then you catch one, and then you upgrade, you're over the limit, you have 6 fish in the boat. So by doing it with 4 fish, you're still within that limit, and you're able to...
Yeah, essentially, if you have 5 fish, as Miles was saying, it's almost like you said, you have your bag for the day legally in Wisconsin, but it's like you're still trying to target that species of fish, so that's what the DNR doesn't want us to do. So that's why we changed it up to a 4 bag limit. So that's what you'll see throughout the series is 4 bag limits throughout the rest of the series. Yep. So that was it was a fun day. Miles, you ended up winning, taking home the prize.
I had, I believe,
7.67 pounds.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I had 7.67 for 4 fish, so a little under a 2-pound average. So definitely not the numbers we were hoping for, but
no,
I will take it. I had a limit of legal largemouth, so I'm not going to complain too much. Came out on top.
Yeah. So you guys are going to be able to watch these episodes. So you're going to be able to see the entire day how it all transpired and stuff, and just kind of watch along and see how it all ended up coming to be. So you guys obviously know the result now, but you guys have to see how it all played out. So that's going to be kind of a fun thing to watch later on in the year. So Elkhart Lake, this is Elkhart Lake. Now, this is a Google Earth image. You can see from the picture here that we have a very clear lake, Miles.
Yeah.
So we're very excited for this, but we've never fished this. You've never pre-fished this, nor have I.
Never been on this lake. I had an opportunity to maybe probably 5 or 6 years ago, but just schedules didn't pan out right, and I wasn't able to go. But yeah, I've never been on it. It looks like it's gonna fish like a typical deep, clear lake. A lot of drop shotting on the ledges, offshore grass, and then looks like there's quite a few docks as well on it. So I'm sure that'll come into play.
Absolutely.
And then there's also a lot of smallmouth in here as well.
So we're going to get into a little bit of the info right here for Elkhart Lake. It is in Sheboygan County. It's 292 acres, so an upgrade from the 240 acres that we were fishing at Lower Red. So going to be a little bit bigger, but we don't know how it's going to fish, whether it's going to fish small or whether it's going to fish big.
Now, Lower Red, it fishes a little bit bigger because of there are almost like creek channels on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of, like I just said, creek channels on it, and like bays almost, so it fishes a lot bigger than it seems.
Yeah. So you can see, I mean, a little bit from the picture and stuff, that they do have a couple shallow spots. Google Earth does a really good job at showing the different drop-offs and stuff. But in those deep blue spots, we can expect about 119 feet of depth there. So that is going to be definitely interesting from about I think it was a 20-foot average maybe for Lower Red Lake as our mean depth, but 119 feet as a max depth for Elkhart Lake here. And the fish, like Miles was saying a little bit, obviously we're going to be having some largemouth bass in there, but the smallmouth bass are a little bit more common, it seems to be. There's possibilities for panfish, although I don't think we're going to go for panfish.
Probably not, but you never know. I've caught panfish on big crankbaits before, so seen some weird stuff.
And you also caught a frog.
A frog. I did catch a frog on a frog last weekend, so that was the. I've done that before, only I think 2 other times, but definitely was not expecting to cast it in, blew up and set the hook, and out comes a frog.
Yeah. So you never know what you're going to get. So there's panfish, there's pike. Obviously we hooked into some pike last time, so you'll probably see some more of that. Muskie, we didn't hook into any muskie last week, but there are muskie here as well. And then this one was kind of interesting for me. There's trout in this lake.
So a lot of the real deep, clear lakes, the water stays cold enough year round for them, so they'll have trout. Because I know like Wapakaching, they have trout in them as well. So
there you go. And then finally, there is a little bit of walleye, so maybe we'll get some Walters and throw them on the fryer.
A little bit of supper that night.
Hey, there you
go.
go.
With that?
I'd be good. Walleye's delicious. And it's not, what we're going for, so I mean, hey, throw it in the live well. Why not?
Well, today when I was out, I hooked into a big catfish.
There you go.
That ended up being supper tonight. Not what I anticipated on catching, but
hey, it's always a good day when you eat fish.
Yeah.
So, but not largemouth and smallmouth bass. We got to keep those for the tournaments. So, but let's talk about what to expect. Obviously, we did this last week, for the week beforehand. What kind of patterns can we expect? What kind of temps, water temps and air temps? I'm looking at, predictions out. It looks a little bit chillier than last week. What kind of baits that we might be using, and then what kind of size to expect out of this lake?
Size, I honestly have no idea. I know very little about this lake.
From pictures, though, we've seen. What are you thinking?
Looks like there's some pretty good sized fish in it, so hopefully be able to hook into a few of them. Patterns, when we scheduled this, we were anticipating it was going to be a
bedding season.
Yeah, it'd be spawning and a little bit of post spawn, but we ended up having 90-degree weather about 2 weeks ago, so that ended up
very quick spawn.
Yeah, within about 3-4 days, most of the fish pushed up, dumped, and were done spawning. So ended up being a real quick bedding season. So we'll be looking at almost all post spawn fish. I would be surprised if we see any on beds or any pre-spawners.
You never know, though.
Because and then most of the water temps we've been having them high 60s, even low to mid 70s already. So that's very warm for this time of year.
Yeah.
baits. I'm thinking see some drop shots, some Senkos, some spooks a little bit top water. I honestly, like I said, I've never been on the lake, so I don't have a whole lot of knowledge about it. So
neither have I. So we're
just kind of going off of what I know of other deeper clear lakes. So.
Yeah, we have no clue what to expect. But again, we just kind of fish as we fished other lakes similar to this. You're just going to see those different patterns that hopefully come into play. But we're going to have to figure them out. We got 8 hours to get 4 fish, 1 fish every 2 hours. So shouldn't be too hard. But then again, I did not get a limit last Sunday.
Yeah,
so
I always thought it was easy, and then I started tournament fishing.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as it seems some days.
Yeah, I mean, I got my first 3 last, Sunday or whatever, and I was like, dang, I'm going to get 4 within the first 2 hours here. I'm like, I'm good, I'm set. And then I'm like, oh boy, this is not going well. so you never know what's going to happen, but we're gonna try to do our best and try to show you guys some different techniques that we are using and stuff for you guys to go out on these lakes. Again, this whole series is to kind of promote these small lakes that some of you may have never heard about, and something that you can take a kayak or a canoe or something out on the water. I know you actually saw some canoers out on the water on Lower Red Lake.
Yeah, so they just dumped in along one of the areas I was fishing, and they were paddling all over the place, and that was actually how I first started fishing Lower Red, was out of a canoe.
So these lakes are not massive like Poygan and Winneconne, and obviously Bago is obviously the big one in Wisconsin. So you can take these kayaks and canoes and go even fishing from shore possibly and catch some awesome fish using the stuff that we're doing out there. So we're looking forward to it. Social media wise, just follow us on all these to stay up to date with everything that's going on. Obviously Instagram and Facebook. Miles, talk about those stories.
Yeah, so on our tournament days, you guys are able to follow along through our Instagram and Facebook stories. We'll be keeping you guys up to date. I know I slacked on that a little bit. I only posted one, and it was after I'd gotten my limit, but Trevor, he was posting pretty much all morning while he was catching fish.
Yeah,
so.
And then not in the afternoon because I wasn't catching fish. Yeah, but it was kind of a cool thing for us to kind of keep up to date with ourselves and see where each other were at. If you would have actually posted something, I would have been a little bit more, fished a little harder maybe. I think I slacked off a little actually because I'm like, he has not posted a single story without a fish in it. I'm like, I got this. I got 3 fish. Let's do this. And and then all of a sudden you see the last one and it's got limits on it, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I was pretty worried. I was pretty stressed until about 11 o'clock when I started to catch fish. So I knew Trevor had 3 already in the first hour. So I was working, fishing hard to try and get something going.
Yeah. So we also have TikTok. We do some funny videos on there. We got to kind of get back on that or whatever. And then YouTube is going to be where all of fish catches are going to be shown. Our editors are working very hard to try to get these stages done as quickly as they can, but it just kind of comes with this. This is kind of moving faster than what we were thinking. So we'll just kind of have to, work with them and try to get them done. We do have a 2-week break after this Sunday. So hopefully they can get some episodes knocked out and some other content pushed out to social media and stuff. But YouTube is going to be the main one where you can watch almost all the stuff. And then if you guys want to send us an email, any questions about anything, or I don't know, any fan mail or something like that, we do have an email as well. All of the handles are at wisconsinbassbattles.com. Now, we were talking about the stories and stuff. We did change up one more thing into the works of this entire series. Miles was saying that he was stressed. Can you tell them why you were stressed and what we have changed about this series?
So we ended up putting, it's no longer just for bragging rights. We've got little almost like a dare that we need to do after for the loser that does. So I think this past week it was balance either between.
It was jump in a lake fully clothed.
Yeah, and then you'd have to drive home like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or get one of your armpits waxed. So
yeah,
I was not looking forward to that, and I didn't want that to happen. So I was definitely a little stressed. So stakes are a little bit higher than just bragging rights and making a video now.
Yeah, So obviously I was the loser, so I did have to get the armpit waxed with some duct tape. But this week is going to be the punishment. We're going to basically do every 2 weeks, like before the tournament, we'll have suggestions being put out. So you guys can suggest different punishments that you guys want us to do. And again, these are going to be on Facebook and Instagram stories. So the only way to participate in that is to follow us and then participate in those stories. But the punishment for this week, we are jumping in fully clothed. So we'll take 2 punishments. Whichever one loses the first week, we're doing that the next week. So
that could be it's gonna be a long, soggy ride home for the loser.
Not looking forward to it. Although with the warmer temperature, well, actually, I think it's supposed to be cold this week, so that's gonna be even worse. I was thinking it might be warm and it might be a nice cool down after.
Yeah, this past week wouldn't have been bad jumping.
No.
In. It's like 85 degrees or something like that.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't have been a punishment. That would have been a relief actually. But it's gonna be a little bit colder this week, so don't lose.
I'll try not to.
Well, you already got one in the book, so not too bad. But again, thank you guys so much for watching this podcast. Again, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching a little bit of this overview and what to kind of expect for this upcoming Sunday. Again, just join us out on the water with the Facebook, Instagram stories for Elkhart Lake Stage 2 presented by TKs Custom Baits on May 22nd. We will see you guys
on the water.
On the water. There you go.